Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim, and in this episode I'm going to present you the watch that was sported by Indiana Jones during his last adventure, the Dial of Destiny. Hamilton Boulton, very interesting watch and a good pick for Harrison Ford or Indiana Jones and the last movie. And the movie is located in the 50s, makes total sense because the Boulton was produced in the 40s and 50s mainly. And it was reintroduced in 2023 in a modernized version. And I think I featured that version here on the channel in Watch of the Week. And I sneaked around it to be honest, because it has some features that I found and find very interesting and handsome. First, the case form is very unique. It's between the classic tank with sharp edges and a cushion form, so rounded edges, so very good wrist presence really. And I like the dimensions because they stick pretty close to the original dimensions. Often you have reissues and then the thing is suddenly huge, and I find it, I see the point 100%, but I really prefer the original size, and here they stick to a rather smaller watch with 32 millimeters case length and 27 in width, so very good size for this vintage piece. So these are the pros, but it's a quartz piece, and I'm not 100% against quartz, but when I can choose, then I prefer, especially for these older watches, I prefer a mechanical watch. And the last aspect that held me back was the price, because in Germany the modern Boulton goes for 795 euros, which is pretty stiff for a quartz piece with that features, and I think the dollar price is around 680, 650 US dollars. And so I had some searches on eBay saved and with some alarm functions, and so after months the first Hamilton Boulton in good condition popped up and I could grab it like that, because the auction was a bit poorly timed. I think it was middle of the week, very early in the morning, and so it was not a problem to grab that watch at a decent price. And now I have the pleasure to present you that historic piece here in detail, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. And here we are with the Hamilton Boulton in full glory. And so let's begin with the specifications. We have here a case that is 23 millimeters in width, and the length lug to lug is 37, so relatively generous in length for that period of time. Then we have a 60 millimeter lug width, which will create a bit of a problem. More of that later. Then we have a fingerprint on the side, and the height of the watch is 9.5 millimeters, nicely curved, so very comfortable on the wrist. And this is a gold-filled case, which means it's not plated. The layer here of gold is more substantial, and that's what they call gold-filled, and that's the reason why you cannot see the base metal, because this is a very old watch but still in good condition, and this is because of the gold-filled technology there. Interesting is the technology inside. We have here the caliber 982, which was in production between 1935 and 1954. So it's very likely that this is a late 40s, but I think rather early 50s watch. And this caliber, relatively slow, 18,000 beats per hour, 19 joules, but with a generous power reserve of 45 hours. So a tiny little thing, but with a very good performance. And I said early 50s rather, because I know this dial layout, or these dial elements rather, from the 50s. Very typical with the color, that brushing, but especially the numerals. And the numerals, of course, are gorgeous because they play with the light. They're also gold plated. There you go, and this font is very interesting. I have no idea how you call that font. It looks sometimes a bit medieval, a bit grotesque, but it gives the watch its character, definitely. So very typical and nice to look at, and every angle is different. See that? It's just gorgeous impression here. And also very typical are these hands, very puristic, without loom, and of course the little seconds. And then the last element is the printed Hamilton logo and the minute track, the railroad track. And the Hamilton, there are 2 points. There are 2 points you could be a bit suspicious about. First, the Hamilton looks a bit refurbished, but I've checked out many images from that period of time, from the 50s, and it's correct. It looks that way. And the second thing is the little seconds. The hands are a bit deep, a bit too low when you compare them with the printed outer subdial. Then the alignment is not spot on, and I thought, oh, what's that? But again, I checked images from good sources, and all of these Hamilton had this slight misalignment between the printed scale here and the hands. And so, but these are the elements. If you find something like that on a new watch, then you have a big problem. But back then in the 50s, the precision of manufacturing was not on our level, of course. Here you see the crown, not branded. And so I think this is a generic crown. You find this very often with older watches, especially from the 50s, because people back then, for these rather affordable pieces, they weren't obsessed with brands on the crown. And so most watchmaker, although now when I look at it, it fits the style here of the case perfectly in dimension. So it could be original, but I'm not 100% sure about that. And here is the case back of the watch, and there you have this information, gold filled instead of gold plated. And you can open this case back relatively easily when you're a watchmaker. You just need a sharp tool and then you can pull it off. But I didn't do that because it was I tried it once, but it was too risky for me. And then you can take out the entire movement. So these watches are very, very easy to disassemble without any sort of problems. And you see that this watch has a 60mm lug width, which is very typical. You also find them with fixed spring bars, which is a bit of a pain because then you need specialized straps. But these 60mm here create a bit of a problem too, because you are in the ladies department with straps. I mean, there are some manufacturers. I think I had once a few of these straps in my online shop, CasebackWatches.com. There might be left 1 or 2 pieces, but it's not so easy to source them. And so this is pretty decent strap, by the way. I mean, it's heavily worn, but it's lizard. It's real Teju lizard. I don't know if this is the correct name in English too. Made by Kaufmann. There you go. Teju, very attractive pattern, smaller than alligator, but fits the style of the watch perfectly, I find. And now let's operate the watch. As said, it's a hand-wound watch, and this feels very nice, very fragile, but at the same time precise with a nice sound to it. And then it's position 1, there you go, and now you can set the time. This feels pretty normal. Not a hackable movement, the seconds are still running. And as said, it's not really regulated, it's too fast. The watchmaker has some work to do, but overall this functionality here is 100% there. And there it is on my wrist, 17cm wrist. And as said, the watch is 37mm long, and that's the reason why it has some wrist presence, and of course it's comfortable as hell. Because of the nice case form and the height of the watch, and it's just really a good looking strap. Unfortunately worn, but yeah, I really like that ensemble here. Okay, welcome back. I hope you found this review enjoyable, and as always, please visit CasebackWatches.com. That's the online shop that makes it possible that I can present here free content with honest information. And at CasebackWatches.com you can purchase fine leather straps for your watches, but also belts and wallets and many items made here in my little workshop in Hamburg, Germany with my own hands, which is still big fun. And so CasebackWatches.com, the online shop that keeps everything here up and going. And now that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for your attention, and until next time.